Hello, good evening, and welcome to Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. The top stories in the news tonight: LUSAKA traders swindled over 10 million kwacha by suspected CADRES. A former Zambia army officer laments over his non-payment of benefits. President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA ready to work with all leaders, including the opposition. In international news, Niger coup supporters call for French ambassador and troops to leave the country. And in sports news, a man without hands ready to take on soccer and music if supported.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RainGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello again, the news in detail. Some suspected United Party for National Development (UPND) cadres have been accused of swindling 125 traders of about 10 million kwacha worth of goods. One of the aggrieved traders, Elisha Sisimuyemba, a manager of a named cold storage facility at LUSAKA Soweto Market, says the incident happened in March 2022 when a group of 15 suspected UPND cadres visited the facility, claiming that they wanted to get beans, rice and carpenter meant for empowerment. Mr. Simuyemba explains that the storage depot had goods from people from Mbala, Kasama, Sengahia and Mpolongo. But when contacted for a comment, UPND Deputy Secretary General Gertrude Imenda has threatened legal action against anyone who has been publishing fake information. More in this report.
In a chain of events, some traders at LUSAKA Soweto Market have accused some suspected United Party for National Development UPND cadres of cheating them out of 10 million kwacha worth of goods. According to the affected traders, the incident happened in March 2022 when they said 15 individuals clad in UPND attire visited a cold storage facility where commodities such as beans, carpenter and rice were being kept, with a proposal to collect the items for a purported empowerment program. One of the aggrieved traders, 56-year-old Jenny Mwira, says after the agreement to supply the commodities was reached, the said individuals have instead not honored the payment plan, living her life in misery due to lack of a stable business.
So tulelomba kubuteko kwe bati batwafirishe kwe shindalama batupele bwangu ushoko wa FPF ni kuisa pantu na liufire kulia kwine batwele fiat batwele ku Kongo na ba Kongo bali bapele ndalama $. Ayo $, bapela ati bali yachitisha campaign muno mwine mu Zambia tulefu abatwafirishe twachula abana besu na bachula ine capital yandi nafunishe muri bumedi shwa tunaisa chita empower government.
Other complainants, Joseph Simuchenje and Justin Lesa, have equally bemoaned the failure by the individuals to settle the payments.
Investment center. Echo to kwenda kali abantu enshi amwisho vya tulipo dengu chie chitika. We mkwai to na state house. Twana patwa kutwa levi. Lechi nyo tipefena pa descender.
We are just appealing to the government, especially to the head of state, to assist us at least but pay payments. Ama challenges with sana. Customer abo twaresenda kwa makatundu abana ba school bolsta bare. So
ba get through demand. Emo badi kubadi ku patebo namba kuntanshi kudia so efa ba imenda basimuyemba mwisaka mana ubuteko budipota tulefa kuibira abantu tulefa kupera kubombe feed genuine not ba PF for sure ba president efa balande efa fini so ba pedeni abe FP impitwadi to supply 2,440 bags of beans by 100 kg, 600 bags of rice by 50 kg, 100 bags ya carpenter by 20 kg.
However, when reached for a comment, UPND Deputy Secretary General Gertrude Menda declined to comment.
I'm looking for which media outlets where it has mentioned, and those together with the people who are accusing me, they'll hear from my lawyers. And I cannot say anything until I have spoken to my lawyers, and they will advise me on what I should say.
For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
A former Zambia Army officer, Brian Kanyungulu, alleged to have been verbally discharged from the army in 2003, is calling on the Ministry of Defense to address his retirement package payments. Mr. Kanyungulu says from the time he was allegedly discharged while sick in Lusaka in 2003, it has been difficult to provide for his family because his benefits have not been remitted by the relevant authority. He says several attempts to claim his benefits has proved unsuccessful, as his file is reportedly missing. More in this report.
For some time, payment of retirees in Zambia has been a challenge which many citizens tell different stories about despite sweating tirelessly to reap the benefits in future. The story is not different for one strong hands now trembling with age for Brian Kanyungulu, a former Zambia Army soldier who is laden with trials of accessing his retirement benefits for the service he offered. Mr. Kanyungulu explains to this journalist that life has been unbearable as he has been unable to provide for his family for about 17 years. He explains that while on the sick bed of a named health facility in Lusaka in 2003, he was verbally discharged from the Zambia Army, and his letter of discharge was only available in 2006. For 17 years, his pursuit to have the benefits paid out has turned out to be a mountain he cannot climb despite possessing his past energy to save the Zambia Army, as his file is reportedly lost.
I was verbally discharged from Zambia Army for almost 3 years. That was from 2003 to 2006 when I received the letter of discharge. That time I was being hospitalized in Lusaka. So I've been struggling up and down from Ndola to Lusaka. I've been moving to and fro. But I was only told that my personal file got lost. For almost 17 years, I've been to ACC, in Transparency International Zambia, Ministry of Defense, Army Headquarters Legal Directorate, Army Headquarters Finance and Records Directorate.
The former Zambia Army soldier is hopeful that the highest office of the land will come to his aid. Mr. Kanyungulu explains that all the channels to have his benefits meted out have not bared fruits.
Forcing me to move out to and fro and sleeping in the cold as a family person. My personal file has been missing for 17 years now, from the time I was discharged from the army. Now, I'm supposed to get my benefits according to the Defense Act. Now, I'm appealing to His Excellency Mr. HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, being the Commander-in-Chief, to come to my aid. I'm really suffering with my family.
The Zambia Army is yet to respond, as it says it is studying the matter. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Federation of Small-Scale Mining Association of Zambia has commended the government of the Republic of Zambia for imposing a temporary ban on the export of lithium and sugilite from Zambia. Federation President Pastor Joseph Mwansa, however, says inasmuch as the move is appreciated, the Federation feels that it is taking longer for the government through the Ministry of Mines to come up with a standard framework on how best to handle matters concerning lithium and sugilite. Pastor Mwansa says has since urged the government to quicken the process of formulating the standards so that those in possession of lithium and sugilite can formally start to export as a way of minimizing smuggling and corruption. He says this will also ensure that revenue is earned by both the exporters and the government. More in this report.
Several stakeholders have welcomed the decision taken by the government of the Republic of Zambia to impose temporary ban on the mining and export of lithium and sugilite from the country. However, the long period it has taken to conclude the standard framework for the two minerals has become a source of concern by players in the mining sector, despite assurance by the Director, Cadastre Department at the Ministry of Mines, Samuel Mango, that the concept paper has been developed.
As such, we've worked out a concept paper. Once it's approved by higher authorities, it will be a national strategy on critical minerals.
The Federation of Small-Scale Miners Association of Zambia feels that it is taking longer for the government through the Ministry of Mines to come up with a standard framework on how best to handle matters concerning lithium and sugilite.
We as an umbrella organization feel that it is taking longer for the government through the Ministry of Mines to come up with a standard framework on how best to handle matters concerning lithium ore and sugilite. Therefore, we urge the government to quicken the process so that those in possession of lithium ore or sugilite can formally start to export so as to minimize smuggling and corruption. This will ensure that the revenue is earned by both the exporters and the government.
Pastor Mwansa says currently the demand and price for lithium and sugilite are high and favorable to promote mining of the two commodities before the price can fluctuate.
Currently, the demand and prices for lithium ore and sugilite are high and favorable to promote mining of the two commodities. This makes it the best time to open up the market so as to maximize the earnings. The commodity price are subject to fluctuations. So let's do the right thing at the right time as a nation.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Advocates for National Development and Democracy, ANDD, has appealed to President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA to swiftly respond to the petition the consortium of civil society organizations submitted at State House on the 23rd of August 2023 on the need to revamp the mining sector. ANDD Executive Director Samuel Banda says the consortium petitioned President HICHILEMA to quickly hand over KCM to Vedanta and announce the investor for Mopani, as well as address operational challenges at Kansenseli mine in order to revamp the country's mining sector. Mr. Banda believes that government has an opportunity to address economic challenges by implementing recommendations in the petition. He says economic challenges such as the high cost of living, coupled with the high fuel and meal prices, and stable KWACHA and mass unemployment are some of the issues which can be addressed by simply making the mining sector viable.
Appealing to our president to swiftly respond to the petition we submitted on the 23rd August on the need to revamp the mining sector so that we can address some of the economic challenges the country has continued to face, more especially the high cost of living. We believe that government has an opportunity to address some of the economic challenges the country has continued to face by unlocking the mining sector. Economic challenges such as the high cost of living exacerbated by high fuel prices, meal, mass unemployment, and stable national currency, KWACHA. And these are some of the issues that we can address as a country by simply making our mining sector viable. Therefore, in the interest of restoring national development, creating employment and improving the living standards of Zambians, once again we want to appeal to our Republican president to hand over KCM to Vendata Resources and find an investor for Mopani mine and address operational challenges at Kansenseli gold mine.
Citizens First Party President Harry Kalaba has demanded that government, through the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, issues a statement on how investigations have progressed in the alleged gold scam. Mr. Kalaba says this particular issue is of great interest to the Zambian people, whose mineral resources are being stolen in broad daylight, and that it is imperative that there is full disclosure. He says the circumstances leading to the catch and release of the Egyptians and Mr. Oswald Diangamo, a well-known politically exposed person, leaves more questions than answers. On Friday, 1st September 2023, the state entered a nolle prosequi in the matter in which 5 Egyptians and 1 Zambian were charged with espionage.
Security to issue a statement on what has been happening concerning the gold scam. Our minerals are being stolen in this country, and we would want them to issue a comprehensive statement concerning what has been happening from the time what happened, from the time these Egyptians are being released, and we also want to know why others have remained in prison and why the Egyptians are going. We also want to know why others were sleeping in lodges while others were not sleeping in lodges. I think there is more that needs to be heard from the government, and the government should not pretend that these things are not happening. We want to hear how far they have gone with the investigations. We also want government to subsidize fuel, because if they don't subsidize fuel, the cost of living will continue going up. And people will not afford to manage their lives properly as a result of the high cost of fuel.
The Economic Freedom Fighters EFF leader Kasonde Mwenda has expressed concern over the continued increase in fuel pump prices and inflation in the country. Commenting on the two developments, Mr. Mwenda says the unregulated increases will raise the cost of doing business and subsequently hurt the economy through diminished productivity. He adds that high inflation undermines the economic health of the country, with the major one being the shrinking investment space, leading to stagnation in employment creation, especially in the private sector. ERB recently increased the pump prices of petrol to 29 kwacha for the Tungwe from 25 kwacha 57 ingwe, while that of diesel increased to 26 kwacha 88 ingwe from 23 kwacha 36 ingwe.
The recent report of inflation reaching a 16-month high of 10.8 in August is alarming and calls for immediate action from the UPND government. High inflation undermines the economic health of our country in various ways. It erodes the purchasing power of Zambians, leaving them with less money to buy essential goods and services. This results in a decline in the standard of living and further exacerbates poverty levels. The uncertainty caused by high inflation also hinders investment and economic growth. Business becomes hesitant to expand, or investors find it difficult to have their projects launched, leading to stagnation in job creation and economic development. Furthermore, high inflation disproportionately affects those who rely on fixed incomes. Retirees and individuals with fixed interest rate loans suffer as the value of their income or savings diminishes. This unjust redistribution of wealth is unacceptable and widens the gap between the rich and the poor. The increased production costs diminishes our international competitiveness. As the prices of our exports become relatively more expensive, other countries may find our goods and services less attractive, impacting our economic growth and the livelihoods of our citizens.
Republican President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA has encouraged the church to talk to the local leaders on matters that affect society in their areas. President HICHILEMA says church leaders come from one direction while the government leaders come from another, but that the meeting point is to save the Zambian people. The head of state says government is available to work with the church, political parties and other groups in society to resolve national challenges. He says diversity and competition must not drag the nation away from common national issues, where they must converge and find what should be done for the greater good of the nation. The head of state was speaking in LUSAKA Sunday when he officiated at the Anglican Church induction ceremony and Jubilee celebration.
supporting them, but working with them to better the lives of our people. This is a confirmation, this is an opportunity for me on behalf of my colleagues in this cabinet, in this government, central government, local government, and others, that we will continue working with this church, its leadership, Archbishop Chama, as you assume your role, but also with other churches in this our Christian country. So I thought I should use this opportunity to express that view. But we also understand this partnership, that the church has a role in this broader partnership. The church has a responsibility to the flock, God's people, but also to render counsel to the government. Governments before us, and this particular government, and I believe governments after us, because that is the way it's supposed to be. And we appreciate, we'll continue to appreciate that advice. Diversity and competition must not drag ourselves away from common national issues where we must converge and share ideas, debate, but agree on what needs to be done for the greater good of our country. I thought that was important to say.
The Young Christians Women Association of Zambia, YWCA, has called for the establishment of the Gender and Equity Commission in addressing gender inequality issues, among others. YWCA National Council President Patricia Mubanga says women remain vulnerable in the country as a result of the absence of the commission. Ms. Mubanga, however, maintains that there is no substantial reason leading to the scrapping off of the ministry in the country, of the gender ministry in the country. She believes the UPND administration was supposed to make amends to the inadequacies that the gender ministry had, unlike scrapping it off. More in this report.
Zambia is a predominantly patriarchal society with customs and traditions that often prohibit the empowerment of women. The country is ranked low on gender gap reduction and inequalities, sitting at only 146 out of 178 countries in the Gender Inequality Index. The fight against gender inequality in the country is an evolving narrative as society grapples with multifaceted issues of gender, ranging from poor education to the availability of opportunities, among others. As of May 19, 2023, Zambia's GBV assessment reviews that the rate of physical violence experienced by many women is 36%, who are aged between 15 and 49, and 14% have experienced sexual violence. While such statistics reflect the true fight against gender inequality in Zambia, the Young Women's Christian Association of Zambia, YWCA National Council President Patricia Mubanga, says there is a need to develop the Gender and Equity Commission to address various gender challenges the country is facing.
Want the commission also of the Gender Equality and Equity Commission to be in place, so that at least we can be able to address some of these issues that are being swept under the carpet. Because if we had some of these things in place as mandated by Constitution in terms of the Gender Equity and Equality Commission, we could have addressed a lot of these issues. But because even the gender ministry was taken away, it now brought us to a stop, to a drawback, where we're coming from a gender ministry being a division.
Recently, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, indicated that the reintroduction of the Ministry of Gender remains irrelevant in addressing gender issues in the country.
I think the issues of gender, even if it's now a department under the Vice President's office, for me as a person, I believe that there is no harm that has been made by downsizing it's not the ministry that is going to ensure that women participation is enhanced.
But the YWCA president says there's only need to clear the ineffectiveness in the Ministry of Gender, unlike scrapping it off. Ms. Mwanga says in the absence of the Ministry of Gender, issues have been difficult to address in the country.
When you bring in new management, you expect that they will strengthen or work on those weaknesses that they find in the organization. The expectation is not to completely reduce the ministry to a division. The expectation is to strengthen the ministry and not reduce it. So we expected that if they noticed that it really didn't bring much, what did they expect to see? They should have put that in place so that we see it. Now we do have a division. Are we seeing anything 2 years down the line?
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Join us for more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, chew me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with the news. Renowned educationist and author Rosias Siatwambo has urged young people not to be discouraged with failure, as it is part of the process of greatness. Dr. Siatwambo says society's perception of failure is destroying several lives of young people as they feel rejected when hit with failure, which should not be the case. He was speaking over the weekend when he addressed hundreds of youths during the inaugural Mothers Without Borders Boys Conference. And Mothers Without Borders Country Director Josephine Daka says the organization has decided to commence the Boys Conference as they equally need motivation and mentorship like their girl counterparts, whom it has been hosting for the past 3 years. More in this report.
Mothers Without Borders have held the inaugural Boys Conference to accompany the Girls Conference the organization has been hosting for the past 3 years. Last month, the organization held its third Girls Conference aimed at shaping girls into agents of change in society. Responding to society's topical issues, the Negro Boys Conference was held under the theme Boys as Change Agents to Gender Inequalities. Organization's country director Josephine Daka says the organization has decided to include boys in mentorship programs as they equally need the services.
Holding a conference for girls, but then we've taken time to think about the boys and say we are leaving out the boys. We'll raise up girls with certain values and then the boys are left out. So we've incorporated the boys this year, beginning January. We've created a program similar to the one that we have with girls.
The conference saw notable speakers from different spheres of life urge the boys to be resilient and persistent in life.
Oh, you have failed, you have done what and so on. You break a pledge today, your mother just tells you, that's why you failed an exam. It was very tough. Just like I was printed paper to say I failed an exam. And this is what is happening in the society, that once you fail, everyone will laugh at you. But let's change the scenario. We get this. You can never be such a successful person without failing.
We should be entrepreneurs. We should strive beyond waiting for the salary. Okay? That's how you help others. With your salary, you can't help people. Because it's meant to sustain you alone, not for you to now take care of the orphanage.
Some participants held the knowledge they gained from the conference, further calling for the initiative to be sustained.
It wasn't for this complex, I'm telling you right now. I wouldn't even know what I've been taught today. And I've been inspired a lot. And I've seen that for one to be successful in life, you have to work hard. But without this complex, I wouldn't understand this. I wouldn't even know this. So I thank very much for the organization, and I thank them very much for this, for making us reach at this place, because it has helped me. And I think it has also helped my boys who are in there, because they have been inspired, and there are some who talked about drug addiction. So even us, I think we have been inspired.
For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Examinations Council of Zambia, ECZ, says there is no malice in its action to verify results at a fee in order to validate the geniuses of the results. ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Nicholas Nkua says the council has resorted to charge the recipients of the results despite the examination being administered by it in order to cut on other costs. Mr. Nkua says there is no illegality in charging for verification of results, as the council is striving to fight cases of results being forged by unscrupulous people.
It's a fee for us to be able to work on the verification. There are so many things that are involved in terms of the inputs that we use to verify the results, right? So we need that charge. Of course, the charge, as many may say, is expensive. Actually, it is a fair charge, because if we were to bring it to the level that it should be, you actually see that a lot of people will not manage. But because we are an institution that is service-oriented, a public institution, we charge that much. I also wish to just state that also we have given an opportunity to all institutions in Zambia to register with us through this innovation we call the online verification of results for institutions. So we have developed a system which is being used to verify results online. So people don't have to bring their results to us, or piles and piles of files for us to verify. Basically, they can do that within the comfort of their offices. Submit online and verify results online. This is for institutions. And even the fee is quite minimal for institutions as compared to individuals, because we want to encourage more institutions to get on board and be able to only accept results that have been verified. We also see that during job adverts, institutions are calling for results that are verified, not results that are certified. So the difference must be noted in that case, because we want to deal with one very big important crime, which is forgery.
The Health Professions Council of Zambia, HPCZ, has clarified that the duo Marjorie Chandalulembo and Smart Mumba of Chalala area in Lusaka, who allegedly beat to death their 14-year-old maid, are not licensed by HPCZ. Neither are they registered as medical doctors. HPCZ Public Relations Officer Mwaka Namfukwe says the duo should since not be classified as such. Ms. Namfukwe says investigations are underway to determine if the two were holding out as health practitioners, contrary to Section 6 of the Health Professions Act, which prohibits any person from practicing without registration.
The Health Professions Council of Zambia would like to remind all registered health practitioners that they have an obligation to always uphold ethics during and outside duty. Lately, we have received complaints and reports of professional misconduct among some health practitioners, such as theft of medicines, negligence, violence, and sexual offenses, acts that have great potential to make the public lose trust in the medical profession and ultimately healthcare systems. Some of these disturbing cases are already before the police and courts of law, while others are still being investigated by HPCZ. The Professional Code of Ethics and Discipline is clear that a health practitioner should observe proper standards of personal behavior, not only in professional activities, but at all times. Meanwhile, some sections of social media are quoting a recently arrested couple as medical doctors. This couple is accused of domestic violence relating to a 14-year-old. We would like to clarify that the duo Marjorie Chandalulembo and Smart Mumba of Chalala in Lusaka are not licensed by HPCZ. Neither are they registered as medical doctors, therefore they should not be classified as such. Investigations are underway to determine if they were holding out as health practitioners.
The Ministry of Agriculture in Gwembe district has handed over beehives processors to the farmers from the Scala project. Gwembe District Commissioner Kilioni Chikamdufula has since thanked the government for the gesture. Here's a report.
The Ministry of Agriculture in Gwembe District has today handed over beehive processors to the farmers. During the handover, District Commissioner Kilioni Chikandula expressed his gratitude to the ministry.
I'm happy that at least today we are witnessing the handover of the following items from Scala project. The items are, first one is wax, which weighs about 80 kgs. Then second one is koiko cloth, which is 70 meters. Then we have the honey pressers. These are 44. So please, on this one, you can see the government has done its part. It has managed to provide these through Scala under the able leadership of His Excellency Mr. HAKAINDE HICHILEMA, that at least private partners have been accommodated to take part or to participate in the development of our country.
The district agriculture coordinator, Delvi Muntali, urged the farmers to utilize the inputs.
Honey is not supposed to be cooked. So these things will help you to process well. And Scala has responded by providing these items. We were crying for them, the Scala project has given us. So it's now up to us to use them.
Beneficiaries for the beekeeping program have appreciated the government for the items received.
Uhurumende alimwi askirara ma programs aya ngomwatupa kutegwa tuverege mukati mu community yesu andiswe muri mafamazi karomba kuti atuveregera antu omwe kutegwa rusumpugo mugati mugirawo Yesu duye kumbere.
Jorwe Hajinene reporting for Zanis, Gwembe.
We'll take our second commercial break. We'll be back with international sports news after the break.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In forgotten stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
We continue with the news, and now in international news, tens of thousands of Niger coup supporters are camped outside a military base in the capital, demanding the departure of hundreds of French troops. Relations between Niger and former colonial power France have deteriorated since President Mohamed Bazoum was forced out in a coup in July. Here's more in international news.
Chinkoneng Baite is worried about her lack of treatment for breast cancer. The cancer care stopped when ethnic violence started in May between the Meitei and Kuki communities, and she was forced to move. The nearby hospital is short-staffed and only equipped for basic health emergencies.
My wife's unwell. She has cancer on her left breast and was supposed to get surgery done in Shija Hospital in Imphal. She did 2 chemo sessions in Imphal, but then the conflict broke out on the day we had to do the 3rd session. We can no longer contact the doctor.
4 months of conflict in Manipur have led to an informal population exchange. More Meitei have moved to the valley, where the community dominates, while the Kuki minority in the valley fled to the hills. Victims of violence from the Kuki tribe can't travel for treatment in Imphal, the state capital, which is dominated by the Meitei. That's where most public hospitals are located.
We are having shortage of drugs issue because due to road blockage, we cannot get the medicine as we used to get in the previous month.
I would like to request the government to provide us medicine through airlifting, and if possible, if they can provide us more doctor from the mainland India, because we cannot expect doctor from the valley region.
The conflict began after the Meitei demanded tribal status similar to the Kuki that gives them preferential status to land, jobs and education. At least 160 people have been killed and tens of thousands from both communities forced from their homes since May. The Indian government has sent over 50,000 troops, but so far there are no clear signs it has managed to end the violence. Mohammed Val, Al Jazeera.
They took the security forces by surprise. The protest, scheduled for late afternoon, began 5 hours early. At the entrance to the military base, demonstrators tried to force their way. Reinforcements were quickly called in, and a confrontation with French troops averted. But the demonstrators say they won't leave.
All military bases, we want to fight to remove in our country all military bases in our country. We don't want it because more than 13 years all terrorism is here. They don't take care to fight terrorism.
Despite a heavy downpour, thousands continue to arrive, perched on top of homes, others on street lampposts, or anywhere they can, blaring their trumpets.
This demonstration is the largest since supporters of the coup turned their attention on the military base near the airport here in the capital, Niamey. Inside there is an estimated 1,500 French soldiers. The demonstrators want them out. France says its ambassador to Niger and troops are staying.
Relations between Niger and its former colonial power have deteriorated since the coup.
If this crisis isn't handled diplomatically, there's the risk of clashes between the two sides. For the junta, it's important to make the French ambassador leave, otherwise it'll look weak in the eyes of its supporters. The government in France is looking to provoke the junta by questioning its legitimacy.
Having been forced out of former colonies Mali and Burkina Faso, analysts say France may not leave Niger without a scene. And the junta here will do all it can to ensure the French leave, at least to save face with supporters who stood by it. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Niamey.
Now in sports news, a 24-year-old man of Luwansha, born without hands, says he aspires to become a professional football player in the Zambia national team. Mark Makua says his disability has not stopped him from playing soccer, but says he lacks proper support to develop his talent. Makua says he currently lives with his grandmother, who usually helps him, but says he is afraid that he might be left destitute if she passes on. He has since appealed to clubs and the Football Association of Zambia to give him a chance to prove his talent to the nation, which he says will open doors for his finances and help hire a nanny to be helping him in his daily activities. More in this report.
He is an example of resilience and never giving up. Mike Mukowa was born with a rare congenital hand difference called Simbrajatataili, but even this has not stopped him from showcasing his talent and living on his dream of becoming a professional footballer. Playing soccer is not the only talent Mukowa possesses, but singing as well. Mukowa says he is looking for people who can help him develop his talent in either soccer or singing so that he can be able to raise enough resources to support himself, as he currently has no parents but living with his grandmother, who he describes as his guardian angel. His coach says he started training him in football when he was only 11 years old and says he has talent that needs to be harnessed.
So, despite nephew Lemonica nephew aba nderomba ko kubantu amo ama wishazi nangwabe ngatuafirisha kozi umwe achalishwa sana boy nomba ndefo mwinga mwafirisha kukunshira shimwisha kwati kuti atea nangu kuti mwamwika ko pamopa side apa kwati abako ngefyo tudina ifo bene bonse.
His friends share similar sentiments in asking for Mukowa to be helped.
Unfortunately, due to his disability, he can perform extraordinary stuff that even a normal person can do. Now we are lacking sponsorship here in Luwansha.
And I would also just want to co-appoint the Ministry of Youth and Sports, if perhaps they would consider him, to put him part of the football national team, because as you may see, to say that he has really proven it all.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
To end the news tonight, the headlines once again. LUSAKA traders swindled over 10 million kwacha by suspected CADRES. A former Zambia Army officer laments over non-payment of his benefits. President HAKAINDE HICHILEMA is ready to work with all leaders, including the opposition. In international news, Niger coup supporters call for French ambassador and troops to leave the country. In sports news, man without hands ready to take on soccer and music if supported. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Job 10, verse 5 to 7. That the mirth of the wicked is brief, the joy of the godless lasts but a moment. Though the pride of the godless person reaches to the heavens and his head touches the clouds, he will perish forever like his own dung. Those who have seen him will say, "Where is he?" Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.